Andrew was charismatic and ambitious. He devoured books on influence, persuasion, manipulation. He wanted people to obey him, to do what he wanted, at work, in relationships, in life. But the more he pushed, the more people pushed back. One evening, after yet another failed negotiation, he met an old philosophy professor in a bookstore cafe. The professor smiled, listening to his story, and said, "Want to control people? Start by not trying to." Andrew smirked. "Sounds like spiritual nonsense." "No," the professor said. "It's stoicism, and it will flip your idea of power upside down. Because true influence isn't power over others. It's presence within yourself." The professor handed him a thin book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. That night, Andrew read it in one breath. And for the first time, he understood. You can't control others, but you can change yourself in a way that makes others change around you. Weeks passed, and Andrew began changing his reactions. Where he used to demand, he now listened. Where he once criticized, he asked questions. He stopped fighting for control and started working on his own character. One day, his colleague made a serious mistake on a project. Instead of the usual burst of anger, Andrew calmly asked, "What happened? How can I help you make sure it doesn't happen again?" The colleague was surprised. A week later, he came back with a new initiative Andrew hadn't even expected. People began gravitating toward him not out of fear, but out of trust. Andrew remembered a Stoic quote, "Be the kind of person others want to become, not through force, through dignity." He realized that when you govern yourself, you become a model, and a model is the most powerful tool of influence. The changes in Andrew became so obvious that even his father, whom he had clashed with for years, quietly said one evening, "I don't know what happened to you, but you've become someone I now respect." Andrew smiled. He no longer needed to convince anyone. He didn't force his ideas. He became a magnet, not a chain. People wanted to work with him, trusted him, changed on their own, not because they were made to, but because being around him made them want to. He no longer chased power, because he had found strength, real, internal strength. Stoicism taught him, if you want someone to do what you want, don't push. Become someone they want to follow. True leadership isn't about control. It's about calm confidence that doesn't need to shout. He was no longer a man trying to influence. He had become the influence.